What's your countdown?
Brighter side.
We're live now, boys.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Brighter Side of Blue, our worldwide podcast coming to you live from Columbo's Cafe and Tavern in Dogtown, St. Louis, home of the famous thin crust Seabo's Pizza and daily lunch specials. I'm Danny.
I'm Tommy.
I'm Jack.
I'm JJ.
And producer John.
Yeah,
bringing up the rear.
Jumped in there, JJ. Sorry.
Hey, I gotta throw myself.
JJ, where are you? Where
I'm
are
in
you,
a
JJ?
Lake Douglas in Smoky Mountains, Tennessee. Smoky Mountains. Unbelievable, beautiful out
In
here.
the Smoky Mountain. Oh, it
Yep.
looks beautiful up there.
Yeah, it
we
is.
had
It's
to take him on
unreal.
Vacation.
He was stressed
I needed
out.
it.
He was stressed
I need it.
out.
I'm
with that
so
mega hat.
right. I needed
The
it.
whole
Actually,
MAGA hat, going viral, all that stuff wore you out. You had to get out of town.
you know what's crazy is
Producer John, you
I
look everything all right, Producer John?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you looked stressed out. I didn't know what was going on over there, but so yeah, you needed to get away. You're away, so we have a very capable replacement. Our usual bullpen guy, Tommy Malachek.
Big shoes today, JJ, to fill, buddy. I don't know if I can do it.
Tommy, how are things at the Pipe Fitters?
you really pipped me.
Good. Yeah, everybody's working.
The local 562,
Yeah, everything's good.
and you are the political director.
That is correct. Yeah. Fortunate.
There's
Fortunate.
no human being on earth
he's-
that is better qualified for that position than
No
Tommy.
doubt about it. I mean, he is the
Well,
governor.
thanks, Bob.
He's
Thank
the
you.
governor.
I
He
appreciate
was the
it.
political director with the SLMPD.
I was.
You're damn right he was. You're damn right he was.
Nobody knew it.
How many governors you drive around?
5.
5 governors.
I'd like to say not drive around, but protect. Security detail.
I'll
yeah.
call it.
But 5 to answer your question.
We're gonna stick with we're gonna stick with drive
Yeah.
around because one of them died in a plane wreck. So
Oh,
you know,
the late Mel Carnahan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my buddy.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a total coincidence that you're our guy tonight. Your dad was the commander of the juvenile division.
That is correct
And
for
tonight
under Bob Sheets.
we have Chief Frisz on tonight, and who is spearheading some serious juvenile crime change,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and which is just so needed, so needed.
Well, this has been going on, and I think that it might be, and we'll talk to Kurt, our Chief Frisz, Chief Frisz here in a little bit, but I think it gets to a point where there's a breaking, that breaking point where you're just like, you got to be kidding me. And these juveniles are just tearing people up. Is that JJ's?
JJ, we can hear you.
Hey JJ, you might want to mute that. You got
Go
all
ahead.
kinds of silliness going
My
on.
bro-
behind
Shut
you.
up, Tom. Having a hard time.
Jesus Christ.
My brother's having a fishing episode.
He's not even here and he's screwing things up.
JJ, this can't be happening.
You're on the
Nah,
road
you-
screwing things up,
You can
JJ.
cut me whenever you want.
The last time he chimed in, there was a siren going on in the background.
Hey, JJ.
That's just my brother Carson. He lost a fish.
Hey, would you mute his ass?
You one more
Get to him
chance,
when we get to
JJ.
him.
Anyway, getting back to the juvenile, it's a breaking point.
Yeah, and then Chief Frisz and a couple the other chiefs. I mean, they put out a letter saying we got to change things around here. So we're going to figure out. We're going to talk to them about exactly what they'd like to change, and the fact that all these municipalities and the city of St. Louis are just getting murdered. I mean,
Not
literally and
literally,
figuratively.
yeah, yeah.
By juveniles.
Without question.
So we're going to get into that. And then, like you said, it's neat that Chuck chimes in as his dad was a longtime juvenile commander.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they had-
under Bob Sheets.
Had
And,
some good things going on back in the day with when they had manpower to correct that. They had manpower to deal with it, and we'll talk about that.
Right.
It's
Yep.
part of that.
Yep. I talked to
So
my
it'll be
father at
fun.
length over it, and we'll share with everybody, our listeners.
That's going to be a very, very, very good talk.
Yep.
So, and if just this show is being brought to you by Schicker Ford of St. Louis, and great sponsors, and we're very happy to have them along. And so, thank you for sponsoring this. And if you're out there on watching live, like, subscribe, and share. Grassroots Podcast, we're growing. But the only reason we're growing is because people are liking, subscribing, and sharing, and following us. So, thank you for doing that. So Tommy, we've become quite the author lately.
I don't know about the author. I don't know about
What are we going
author.
to call the new segment that we have with your little Tommy's Trials? What are we going to call
Well,
it?
I put out a little. For a long time now, I've talked about horn etiquette over the years.
Oh man.
And I just put together a little something on Sunday and put that out, and got a lot of good responses to it. And horn etiquette is something that I think we could, a lot of people use that. What is that? Is that JJ again?
No,
Not
Ozzy.
me.
Did
That was me.
did you
That was me,
unmute
dude.
JJ.
That was me. Accident.
JJ.
I mean, he just doesn't stop. Can you mute the guy?
Yeah. Is there any way we
I
can,
mean, you
no,
can't
seriously,
get a segment going without him screwing up.
is there any
Sorry.
way we can honestly mute him?
Right. I think he chimed in because he got one story to tell us.
I
He
really
got
don't.
one story.
Well,
I was hoping I'd get right away.
Let's get JJ out of the way.
out of the
We'll get
way.
back to the horn.
We'll get back to the horn.
Right.
Let's
Thank
lose
you
JJ.
so much. Appreciate that.
What do you got?
No, you're gonna talk about juveniles and the issue that they are. And I deal with them on a regular basis, and they are the scorn of our city right now. But I had a story that I thought was kind of interesting or funny. When I first got into the commander of housing, there was two brothers. They were 12 and 10, and they carjacked a guy in Central West End with a fake gun, and they ended up getting him and brought him to juvenile. And the detectives were talking to the juvenile detective, and they were aggravated. And the one kid goes, "I can't believe they're 10 and 12 driving driving around a stolen carjacked car." And the oldest one, I think it was Keyshawn or Kendall, says, my little brother wasn't driving, I was. Like, it was okay that he was driving the damn thing. So, but they've been a nuisance, and now I got an update on them. They're both, one's 17, one's 19. And guess what? The 19-year-old finally made it to big prison, and the 17-year-old being held in the juvenile system until he turns, I guess, 18.
Yeah,
But
there's gotta be
talking
a
about
better-
the point system. I guess you'll get into the point system. Once you have a gun arrest or any kind of gun crime that you use, a gun, you should automatically max out on the stupid point system. I know
I'm anxious to hear the particulars from the chief about the
It's
point
stupid.
system.
It's
That,
so
that
dumb.
wasn't around when you were on.
JJ's
I don't remember the
profession-
point
I don't
system.
either.
JJ's professional opinion is it's stupid.
Yeah, good job.
And I'm with
Jay.
it, JJ.
I was trying to be
that's a
PG.
tremendous wrap up of it.
Summed it
Trying to be
up.
PG. But you know who started the point system, don't you?
No.
One of our former director of security who was a judge in juvenile, Judge
yeah.
Edwards. Judge Edwards.
Jimmy Edwards.
Jimmy.
He started the, yeah,
He
I
started the
get-
point system, and it's been a total failure.
I'm sure he had good intentions and there was some
Oh,
good
absolutely.
reasoning behind it, but it's, if something fails, it's okay to say it failed. It's okay to say you tried and it failed. And I think we're at that point. We'll talk about that. So, JJ, thanks for that story.
But do you have hey,
Does this mean
hold
you're
on a
leaving?
second, no, hold on.
I can't wait to get
Hold
rid
on,
of
I
the
got
crap.
one more question to ask him.
You-
As you know, we have Chief Frisz coming on later in St. Charles County. Is that considered Candyland or no?
It's on the cusp.
We have-
It's on the cusp.
It's on the cusp. It's really close to being Candyland, but it's a big enough department now. It covers enough territory that I'll give them legitimacy. Like the county, as far as you can give the St. Louis County legitimacy.
jeez. Oh, hell
That-
no.
Keeps on the beef.
But it's not like
Starting
You
beef.
just got to keep beefing with
it's
people.
not like Sunset Hills or Brentwood or those other Candyland places. But
So those are like ultra Candyland.
Yeah.
yes,
They're
yeah.
ultra Candyland. And is that your phone?
Is that you, JJ?
No, it is not. That's not me.
All right.
My man, deny.
I think the water patrol's going to pull up in a minute.
Well, I got Craig here. My cousin was down there a couple weeks ago. He's the captain of the boat. He's
All right.
listening. Yep.
I like it.
He's
I
our
like it.
designated driver. He's great.
So we're a pro law enforcement podcast, and JJ's calling all of our brothers in blues, all our jurisdictions names.
No,
Yeah,
no.
he started
Everyone.
that Candyland beef.
Yeah,
a
I
while
just
back.
hey no. We need to go back. I said if you want to be the real police, you come to the city. If you want
And
to
then
be,
you go.
a part-time policeman
He
that
just
does
won't give it
sometimes
up.
police work, you go to
He
those
just
other
won't give
units.
it up.
It doesn't
not.
reflect the opinion of the whole show, though.
JJ, you know the Chiefs listen to all this.
Yeah, you know
Hey, you know what? And you know what? He's a
Good luck
good.
next time you
He's a
drive
good
through
man.
St.
And
Charles
he's a
County.
great chief, and he was a
Yeah.
good policeman in the county too. County does a good job of promoting. I'll tell you that. They have some of the best.
We're going to
commanders.
talk about that. We're going to
Yep.
talk about the
My
leadership
classmate.
of the county over the years.
We get commanders like Danny and some other people.
Right.
Never mind.
Oh, now you can
Just-
stay on a little while longer. Now you said that.
I think that was a slight at you.
Yeah, no, it was a shot.
I think it was a shot at
It was
you
a shot
because
at
we were
you.
talking
It
about
kind
how
of
good the
was,
commander
Danny. I'm
was.
sorry. I was
Delete
in the
his
county.
ass.
You misunderstood, Danny. Yeah,
He's gone.
yeah,
That's
he's
enough of
out.
JJ.
He's gone.
Good seeing you,
out.
JJ.
He got in on Danny and he's out.
He's gone. I hold the button.
You got put out.
Yeah. All right, now we're getting back to the horn etiquette.
No, it's just something that over
It's an
the
emotional
years,
thing that everybody experiences. Every human being is experiencing.
and it's the horn. And nobody ever teaches anybody about how to use the horn. They just give you a horn. That's like giving a toddler like a taser gun.
Right.
You know, you got to tell them some instructions. You know what to do, how to use this thing. And you got two different types. You know, you got the tap, and then you've got the blast. So the tap, you know, and what you can say about the horn is that it's like a mirror. It's like a peek into somebody's soul. You know, right into who they are. You know,
On the tap.
on either one.
On either one.
How you use your horn. Over time, how you use your horn can tell you a lot about somebody.
Okay.
Right.
You know, you run around blasting people all day long.
You're a jerk.
And that's what I'm
You're a
saying is that
hothead.
there should be like a, you know how there's like your computers have an IP address. Your horn should have an IP address.
So we.
So where
Right.
you can figure out the tap to blast ratio, or the blast to tap. You know, you
Yeah.
can't just run around blasting people. I get it. Every once in a while, you get a little aggravated. You got to blast somebody. Kind of get it. Don't really get
Yeah.
it because it's an act. You know, whatever
Yeah,
happened,
right.
the dude didn't mean to do whatever he did to make you blast. But you know, in the tap, you know. And the tap's a good like an excuse. It's like a social excuse. Hey, excuse me, can you go?
Right.
A polite.
Can you get,
polite.
It's a polite, you know.
Little
Yeah.
reminder.
A little
Like
reminder.
I said, it's the
Just,
namaste of
Namaste.
of horns.
Yeah.
Do you know what namaste is?
No, it's a, no.
No, back off.
It's to
Yes.
it's a meditation kind of thing to find
It's a yoga term, I know
find
that.
the divine in oneself and others.
Okay.
So like that horn's just like, all right, we're all together. You know, I don't
The
pay
tap,
attention to
the tap.
sometimes. I don't, you know, we're down. But the blast, declaration of war.
Have you done it?
No, the blast, I've done it before, but I feel bad after you do it. 'Cause
You know
kinda
what?
you kind of gather yourself and you're like,
Why?
Why am I getting so upset about this? It's okay. The person did cut me off, but I don't think they meant it. You know, they're like, hey, fuck it. I see him over there, but I'm just going to cut him off anyway.
Yeah.
And then you get mad, but you got to calm down. You know, that's, you know, you're just going through a stop sign or somebody does something and they screw it up and you hit that blast.
Yeah,
I mean, you automatically turn that into like a gladiator.
I don't think I've ever blasted.
I have.
Have you really? You don't seem like the blaster type.
Caused an accident.
Oh, you did?
Well,
Your blast caused an accident?
yeah, one car.
Dude.
I felt terrible about it.
Yeah.
To this day.
Now
Yeah.
you don't blast anymore.
Old
do you?
lady. No, learned my lesson. It was an old lady, and I startled her.
Was it
Didn't
Danny?
know
Mom?
it.
Do you? You're confessing this now on a show? You caused an old lady to get an
It's been
accident?
haunting
See
me
what
for
I'm telling
years.
you?
Yeah.
Well,
no,
we'll
I when
It's
Tommy
like a therapy
said,
session. So we got a blaster over here. It's like a therapy session. He did wrong. This is exactly what can happen
well,
when you
first
run
of all,
around blasting people.
she was wrong. Okay, so it started with her to cause me to give her the blast.
But if you gave her,
I was
if you gave
doing
her the
the-
tap, everything would have been fine.
Yeah, if you would have gave her the tap, would have
The
things
tap,
worked out
you
differently?
know.
No, it would not have. The tap would not have conveyed the message. I'll put it to you that way.
Oh, so your message, was
message-
you got to run into a
The
telephone
message is
pole?
you want her to get in an accident and
Right.
meet
Took out
the
a Jiffy Lube's sign.
So that was the message. That's just like you know, like I said, the blast is a
I felt
declaration of war.
terrible.
Where,
like-
where would she take a car to if she did have this accident?
Oh,
Now that-
Fairway Automotive. And they'd fix the horn and
All
everything
right.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check doesn't know about the ad thing.
No, I'm rolling with it though.
Oh, yeah.
John's over there shaking his head. Yeah, Jack, go with it. I go, all right, yeah.
Oh,
Is there any other place to go?
I'm glad you confessed that.
Well, you know what? I
better?
feel like a new guy. I do.
You feel
Thank you.
better?
I'm kind of looking
Nobody
at you
was hurt.
differently.
Nobody was
I'm
hurt.
kind of looking at you differently. I don't feel the same about you that I used to.
And I turned around and
You're a blaster.
came back to make sure she was okay.
Oh, you did?
How would what would your tap to blast ratio be like if we could monitor it?
I don't 50-50 maybe. I'm not on that
50,
horn.
That's high.
That's really high.
Oh, it is.
Dude, you get
Yeah.
a letter.
You're an
And
angry
I
driver.
propose that if your
Now-
if your blast to tap ratio is too high, that you get a phone call or a letter saying, "Hey, man, the horn data indicates that you are just a mad motherfucker. You're just mad. You
yeah,
need to calm down,
Yeah.
chill out." Or
So-
would you? I think 50-50 is a little high. If
I
you're
don't think I've
blasting
ever
every other
blasted.
person.
You've never blasted.
I don't think I've
I'm not a
blasted.
blaster.
I don't blast.
No.
I just don't. I don't.
I'm not either.
And since I've been retired, I drive so
You caused an
slow
accident,
and
dude.
yeah.
I mean, I have not. I've the ones I have blasted on, I have not. The maddest I've ever gotten was the motorcycle people that got around me. That do the wheelies.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they fly around and they do all that.
So do you
That
give it to
kinda
them?
got me
Do you-
flustered. You know, I
Do
didn't
you
know what
honk
to
your
do.
horn or no?
What do you think? You can't honk your horn at them. They were just making me mad in traffic. I try not to get mad in traffic.
Doesn't that horn though release some anger in you? Like you feel a little bit
That's what I'm
better on the
saying.
blast.
No, that's because you went
I
out
think
of
you
the
need
house
to.
with
I
some
think
in
you
it.
need to stop while you're ahead.
You left the house with some
You feel
unresolved
better?
issues.
Yeah,
That's what that means.
Yeah, exactly. It's like beef and clothes.
Right.
You know you're going to go out.
Oh, the
there.
horns are just a beef. I mean,
Yeah.
the blast is I'm ready to beef.
Yeah.
We're only settling this by a tap out. You know,
Chief,
you make
John,
it into
The
a
poor
John, your
chief's
thoughts.
listening to this.
What about Johnny?
yeah, she's going. I'm coming on this show.
Yeah, right.
know,
This is my
he's
last time on this.
I
This
can't
is the show
wait
I'm
to get
coming
the
on?
chief on the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel a lot better.
We're
Thank
almost
you,
there. We got
folks.
about 10 more minutes,
you.
and we're going to get the chief on.
Yeah.
He's sitting there listening, going, "Oh my God,
Who are these
Can
three?
I hang up?
No, I like that though. But now it's time
Are
to
you
make.
right? Am I right though? I
You're
mean,
100% right.
we just the world that does a lot more taps would just be a better place to live.
You know,
See what I'm saying?
You know Chuck that we always have beers with upstairs?
Yep.
Yeah.
On his car, he's got this little LCD thing on his passenger window, and he pushes a button, and it gives the person next to him the finger. Where does that fit in the?
That's angry.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
little over the top.
That could probably get
That's a
get
little
shot
over the
at.
top.
Yeah, that's a
Think
blast.
of the kids. I always think of the kids.
That's what the blast immediately. The blast
Oh, you're not
immediately
getting
sends
off the
up,
blast.
He's
middle
not
finger.
stopping.
No.
He's not stopping.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
should
that's
have
enough
never.
of the horn
I
etiquette
thought
stuff.
about not saying
Yeah.
anything.
We've
But
What are you talking about?
I feel better.
We've beat the horn etiquette thing,
No,
to-
but I feel passionate about the horn.
and you've done good explaining it. So
Look,
Yeah.
I think people need to have you get shit taken away from them. Let me take that horn
Like
away
what?
from you, and then see what you think. You know, it's kind of like it's kind of like missing your thumb. You know, if you break your thumb, you don't
We're
you
gonna
don't know
change
how
gears
important
here.
it is.
Hey, Blaster, we're gonna change.
What do you
gears.
got for me?
Well, I want to make us a little smarter.
Here we go.
Uh-oh, here we go.
We're all
I'm gonna
looking
make
for
us a
that.
little smarter.
How's that?
Watch.
Because I want to ask you a question after I tell you what happened on this day in 1974. Gerald R. Ford passed a bill that made it no longer illegal to possess gold, privately owned gold. So in 1974, as a private citizen, you could now possess gold in your home. Now, the question
Why?
exactly why, and it was a 41-year-old law. So in 1974, I'm giving you clues.
passed.
These are clues. In 1974, it ended. It was now legal to possess gold. So going back from 74, 41 years back, it was illegal to possess gold privately as a private citizen.
So why?
Anybody know why?
So back in the 30s?
Yeah, so yeah, exactly.
Because they wanted to lock people up that got married.
No. What?
Well, the gold rings.
Okay,
How did you get gold teeth?
They weren't big back then. Back in the day, it was the Great Depression.
Right.
And so they felt like people that were hoarding gold were slowing down the U.S. financial system, and they wanted more money into the system to help with the Great Depression. And so they helped, out of fear, people were hoarding gold and stuff during the Great Depression and all that stuff. And so they made a law. You could not privately own gold back in the Great Depression all the time. Not until 1974. Isn't that interesting?
It really is.
pretty good.
That is
I would
very
have
interesting.
had no clue.
Yeah,
No.
I had no clue.
But what was there an exemption for the wedding ring?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a
I
great question.
guess I mean
Great question.
gold coins and gold bars.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a weight limit, Tommy, or what.
Shit,
know.
you're the
But-
one that came up with the fact.
Well, next time I'll do a
come
little
with
more
more facts.
research. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, you
sorry.
need to
I
come with
That
more
was
facts.
good. That was a fun fact.
In
I think
19,
go back to the horn.
on this day in 1935, Franklin Roosevelt.
Let's go back to the horn conversation.
Hold on a second. I got some more knowledge for you. 1935, Franklin Roosevelt started the Social Security system.
90 years ago.
Yeah,
Social
90 years ago.
Security.
For
It's
the
talked about
for the elderly and
every
the
election
unemployed.
it's talked about.
For the elderly and unemployed, to help benefit them.
That's good.
So there's my
Yeah.
two tidbits of information for you for the show. That
That was good.
yeah.
But you know what else we're having on this show tonight? The Harper brothers.
Yeah.
The Harper brothers are in the crowd back there, and
So
Ralph Harper, who unfortunately was the victim of a senseless crime involving a juvenile.
Juveniles.
Just,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it meets the criteria that we're going to talk about tonight. It was a 16-year-old that did get convicted as an adult, but nonetheless, it's just a more fodder to the fact that juvenile crime is just out of control and just
juvenile
just
killed
tearing
one of
these
our own.
systems up. And
Today's the anniversary.
no, tomorrow's his birthday.
Tomorrow's his
Ralph's
birthday.
birthday.
Tomorrow's Ralph's birthday.
A listener named Jimmy JJ says, another listener said, where are you? I miss you. And JJ says, I'm watching bitches.
Of course he did.
He forgot the comma. JJ, punctuation is key.
So tell the audience how it's going to go down with the Harper brothers.
No, they're just going to come up. They're going to
Me and Tommy are leaving, right?
No, all of us are leaving, and then we're just going to let them talk about Ralph.
Producer
And
John's
share
gonna
some
stay.
stories. Producer John's going to stay and interview them, and they had six people in their family on the police department at one time.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Just
everybody
a rich
but mom.
family history. So it'll be neat. And John was always somebody that Ralph ran into in his excursions. We'll just call them excursions. And so John's been wanting to do something with Ralph, and the Harper brothers they listen to the show a lot. So it's our honor to help honor Ralph.
I
love it.
I actually worked with Ralph in the 3rd district.
I did too.
And Ralph worked for my father, and my father and Ralph were dear friends. Bavarian Inn on Arsenal, and I mean they're just
Well, Ralph's one
they
of the
were good
guys that
friends.
as soon as you hear his name, a smile comes to your
Yeah.
face.
No doubt.
And that's exactly isn't
Absolutely.
that how anybody? That's how I want to be remembered.
Yeah.
Is that no matter where I'm at, is that just somebody says, "Hey Sawyer," and they just smile.
Yeah.
All right, and then but Ralph Harper's like that. As soon as you say Ralph Harper or you hear his name, you smile,
Yeah.
and you just because you think of something silly that he did.
I'm thinking of
just
different
thinking of
stories
right
in my
now.
head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Well, that's going to be neat. That'll be a neat.
Yeah, that'll be a
We're
good
just going
one.
to leave, and the brothers are going to take this place over. Just like the Harpers took over the police department, they're taking over our show.
The podcast.
Yeah, they're taking over the podcast, baby. So that's going to come on after Chief Frisz, but it's a great show. And again, like Danny said, like, subscribe, and share. And we appreciate all the support that's been coming in. And we're getting bigger by the week. And it's really fun. And whose phone is that? That's probably me.
JJ's.
I bet you it's me. JJ called me.
JJ's.
It's JJ called me.
Is it really?
I forgot to put my phone on silent, and we're yelling at JJ.
Yeah, we're yelling at JJ. So let's
get to
John,
the
can we
chief.
can we bring the chief up?
Yeah, let's get the
Let's
chief
get
in here.
to the chief.
You ready, Chief?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good chief.
Fantastic.
Make him.
Well, let
make him
me-
bigger on the
let me-
screen. I know. I
In the-
know you're going to let you.
I got.
I can't get him on the screen right now though.
I think he's up there.
Johnny's getting.
See him? He's up there.
There he is.
He's right there.
Right there.
he is.
There you are.
Yeah, I love it.
Chief,
Welcome.
how you doing, man?
Good, real good.
Sorry you had to endure that.
Our apologies.
Our apologies.
Sorry about that.
And don't think less of Tommy with his horn that caused an accident with an elderly woman.
I went back
Right.
and check on her, though. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
But thanks for coming on board. We're glad that you came on board.
I just want to just to give a quick introduction of Chief Kurt Frisz. He's with the St. Louis County or the St. Charles County Police Department. He's the chief there, and he's been in law enforcement for nearly 4 decades. He went from his foundation is with the St. Louis County Police Department. He left there as a captain and became the chief of Wentzville. Left there and became the chief of where he's at right now, which is St. Charles County. In 2019, Chief Frisz was named the Missouri Police Chief of the Year. He recently received an award from Governor Kehoe for his career accomplishments. And within those career accomplishments, it's 110 awards. And it includes 2 Medal of Valors and a Distinguished Service Citation.
Nice.
Those aren't easy to give.
No.
He's also helped launch, while he was in the county police department, he helped launch the Metro Air Support Unit. which is still running today.
Yeah.
And again, you know, it's just a pleasure to have you on, Chief, and thanks for coming, and welcome to the show.
I appreciate the opportunity. It's good to talk to you guys tonight, especially about this subject. So,
Yeah, it's and I feel passionate about it. I mean, I don't know if you remember, I retired as a major with the city, and going back 10 years, we used to have a thing, I'm sure you know it, ComStat, and every Thursday we'd sit down and we'd have to hear these answer to the crimes that happened in our jurisdictions, and every week it was the juveniles and the juvenile crime, and they were brought to the juvenile building and they were released to their parents before we could even write a police report. And so it's nothing new, and it's definitely time for some reform, and we feel strongly about it, but we want to hear some things about what you have going first.
But before we get to that, I just want to ask the Chief, I mean, because he's had such a distinguished police career.
Right.
And, you know, we know within the law enforcement community, you always know who the legends are over the years. And Chief Frisz had his foundation in the St. Louis County Police Department. And when you think about some of the people that he's got to work alongside and for, when you go back to Chief Ron Battelle, I think that was when he started, and then you go to Jerry Lee, and you go to Tim Finch, and you go to John Belmer, and you go to the current Chief
Gregory.
Gregory.
Chief Gregory.
And these are people that Chief Frisz had the opportunity to work alongside for all those years. And Chief, I'd really like you to talk about how that helped rooted you in your law enforcement career.
I appreciate it. It really did. When I came here, I was 22 years old. I moved here from Indiana for this job. And I was kind of moving to the big city. And I didn't know anything about St. Louis, and I didn't know anyone. But after I graduated the St. Louis City Police Academy, I got assigned to the North County Precinct. And Ken Gregory was my field training officer. So we're both still hanging around. So I give Ken a lot of credit for my foundation of the work I got to do up in North County and how to learn how to do police work. And I was surrounded by a bunch of good people. But a couple years later, I tried out for the tactical unit. Not that I thought I'd make it, but St. Louis County has a full-time SWAT team, and I accidentally made the team somehow. So it's 25 years old now. I'm on this team running around with these guys, and I'm way over my head. I'm out of my league. But I had a couple of people I surrounded myself with, or they kind of took me under their wing and steered me in the right direction and brought me up right. And a few years later, I became a team leader, and so I ended up doing 10 years on the tactical team. But where I've had the most fortunate career as a hobby when I first moved here, I always wanted to fly. So I took flying lessons in an airplane. Me and Tom Jackson bought an airplane together, and just a little Cessna 150. And then in 1990, the county merged the tactical unit with the old flight operations unit. So because Tom and I knew how to fly airplanes, they decided to train us in helicopters, which sounds like a really bad idea, train a couple of SWAT guys how to fly a helicopter. But we absolutely had that opportunity, took it on. So I lived a great life for the next 10 years. I flew helicopters and did SWAT operations, and it was a great opportunity. And then I decided to jump into sergeant's promotional process. So I was fortunate enough to get promoted to sergeant, go back to North County, and go up there where it's busy. And I got a lot of good experience up there. I got Tom Jackson was again in charge of the drug unit now. He, as a lieutenant, he drafted me in to be a sergeant in was Bureau of Special Operations, which was our Special Investigations Device Unit for St. Louis County. So I did 3 years of that, and worked with some great guys like Tim Burke and on my squad. We did some fun cases, some great cases.
Academy classmate.
Is that right? Okay, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tim and Tom, of course, legends in their own right. Then I got promoted lieutenant, went back to the North County Precinct, was up there for about a year when I got selected as the next tactical commander. And I spent the next 8 years commanding the tactical unit and the air unit. And that's where I came up with the concept of developing the Metro Air Support Unit, because St. Louis City had acquired a helicopter. They had one pilot, one helicopter. And St. Charles County had approached me about starting a unit. And so I wrote up a kind of a business proposal about why don't we get all together. The region's not that big geographically, and we can cover it with what we have. It's just a matter of money, commitment, personnel. So that was the formation of Metro Air Support as it stands today. So, so I've been fortunate to be able to do all those things in my career and come up with under the chiefs that you mentioned, and got promoted under them. So had great mentors and a lot of solid people to look up to.
I tell you what, that there's 5 of them, but if you had to put like a Mount Rushmore together, they would be like the Mount Rushmore of the county police. Those guys, and I always thought that growing up in the city, and we've had plenty of great leaders, but the county, to me, it always seemed like they picked better leaders than we did.
I'm going to say we did all right.
As a major, yeah, you would probably say that.
I was going to say the system worked.
The system
The
worked.
system worked.
I would say that you're a vote against. No,
And looking at the county police department, and this is my opinion, but I remember what a morale boost it was. And Chief, you can agree or disagree with me, but when they started to hire within, so Ron Battelle, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, was the first within that was hired as chief, and rose
Yeah, I got
through the
hired under.
ranks. And
Correct. I got hired under Kleinik, who came from the outside, and then they promoted Patel from within.
yeah,
Correct.
and Gil's a great guy. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
man, that whole morale boost.
that's
and
when it started.
losing the proud ones on the side of the car and all that stuff. Just the guys that you spoke to with the county police department were thrilled about it, and their morale went through the roof.
Wow.
In my opinion, at least.
Yeah, it did.
We always
Kleinik
like
went by
to
the
have.
title. Yeah, Kleinik went by the title superintendent of police, and one of the first things
Superintendent.
Patel did was he became the chief of police. And like you said,
Yeah.
get
I
rid of the
that.
proud ones.
And isn't
much
Chief?
better
Isn't Gil still down there as like a historian or something with
Yeah,
the county police?
He is.
department?
He's still in headquarters. He's captured the history of the county police, which is he's done a great job. He's put together some
Awesome
great
job.
projects. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. He was the superintendent when I came out in '86.
Yep.
And if you don't mind me saying, John Belmar was a classmate of mine, not to trump you, Tommy, but
I got Tim
Belmar.
Burke. Timmy retired as a patrolman, just as I did. Maybe it was the academy class, but we had a chief in there. We had Isom in there.
Oh, you did have Danny.
We had
That's right.
Isom in there. So we had a mix. Had
Yeah.
a couple felons.
Okay.
A couple people go to prison.
All right.
We're all right.
Good mix.
All right, good mix. But anyway, Chief, the one thing that we like to ask people, as you've gone through your career, just somebody that maybe might not be a mentor, but somebody that really had a lot to do with your career and where you're at now, and who would that be to you?
It's Gene Doro. I don't know if you know Gino or crossed his paths. He's a great guy. He's the one that really took me under his wings in the tactical unit. He was our negotiator. He was the voice of reason for everything. And he knew I was getting overwhelmed, but he really pulled me aside. And he's a guy, he's about 10 years older than me. He had about 10 years on the department, 15 years on probably when I went to tactical unit. So just senior officer at the time that I was around. And Gene and I, we're still really good friends today. We have lunch about once a month. And Gino was just that voice of reason when things were getting a little hectic. Gene could calm everything down, and he's still a guy I can bounce things off. Hey, what do you think about this? He's been retired since 2001, but just that guy that's sharp and was always a real physical guy and just a smart guy, but someone he kind of made me as a little brother. So that's what really kept
There you
me
go.
between the guardrails.
So what did Gene retire as?
Gino retired as a patrolman. That's what
that's cool.
one of the
Our guy.
one of the majors. I think it was.
I think it's cool
Yeah.
that the chief here
Right.
is probably makes chief decisions when he talks to Gene, his buddy, that he knows that this guy has my back.
Yeah.
Is that something that you do? I mean, like you said, he retired in 2001 as a patrolman, but when you're in a tough spot, is that the guy you call?
It is because I know I'm going to get a solid answer. I know I'm going to get an honest answer, no matter what I'm thinking. It's interesting because I know for a fact that Jerry Lee, when he was still a major, was told Gino. There was a bunch of us around when he said this. I heard this. He goes, "There's one guy in this room that's smart enough, smarter than all of us, could be a major if he wanted to, and that's Gene Doro." So and Gino was that guy. He was content with being a police officer. He had a lot of things going on in his. He had businesses on the side, and he had a lot going on. So he had no interest in being promoted to supervisor, but he mentored a lot of young officers.
Now, I'm going to just throw you a compliment here. I think it's a compliment. I would take it as a compliment. But I was talking to a friend of yours that you used to work with them in the county there when you were in the TAC unit, I believe, back in the younger years. Chief Joe Speece out of Brentwood. And
Yeah.
I was speaking to him on the phone the other day, and I said, hey, Chief Frisz is going to come on. We're going to talk about the juvenile thing. And he says, I'll tell you what, he says, he's a great guy. And if the St. Louis area would take all their police departments and meld them together and pick one chief, Joe Speece said he would take.
That'd be the guy.
he would
That's a
take
good
Chief.
How about
compliment.
that? Yeah.
That's a
And,
great
yeah,
compliment
it's-
because Joe Speece is a really cocky guy, and so you would think you would
knew it
think
was
that he
coming.
would say it was him. You know,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Danny had to take it there.
I had to take a shot at him. You know,
Joe, Chief
He'll be chiming in.
Isn't this a bitch? I can't even
If
give a
it can't be
compliment.
me, I want it to be Frisz. Right. If it can't be me, Joe. Frisz is my guy.
That's great. That's great.
That's good. That is a compliment. Let's get
Yeah.
to the juvenile stuff.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's so, and we've known, Chief, that this has been going on. This isn't just something that just happened. I get it.
Right.
But for those who aren't familiar with the straw that broke the camel's back,
Good call.
the juveniles that just got arrested. Take us through that one there, the 2 arrests within 48 hours. Take us through that.
Yeah, so there was a carjacking, and I forgive me, I don't know the exact location, but I believe it was in North City. It was a carjacking that occurred, pursuit, and the officers apprehended the juveniles. There was a weapon involved, took them into juvenile justice, and they released them, booked them in, did processing, and released them to home, which is generally where a lot of the problem starts. And within 48 hours, they were out again committing another carjacking, getting into pursuit. In fact, it's the same officers that arrested them the first time. And ends up out in Bridgeton, and there's a crash. They catch the juveniles again. Unfortunately, there was an officer injured in all this, and this is the problem. This just highlights the problem with the system. It just kind of became time for us as the Law Enforcement Legislative Coalition, which I can explain what that is, to say, hey, you know what, we got to call this out for what it is. We've already been talking to the Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, about juvenile justice reform, and he's all for it and very supportive. So we'd already been talking about it, so we decided to strike while the iron's hot, while this is fresh in the press. So that's why we kicked out that press release earlier this week.
Tell us a little bit about that LE, the Law Enforcement Legal Coalition. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do and why you guys are around.
So we formed it about 3 years ago. We have a lot of police chiefs organization, St. Louis Area Police Chiefs Association, Missouri Police Chiefs Association. There's Kansas City area, Southwest Missouri, but we don't work in lockstep. So we decided to create a coalition that kind of bridges all those together for one purpose, and that's lobbying against legislation that's going to hurt us, and lobbying for legislation that's going to help us in law enforcement. So we try to focus on 5 or 6 key issues that we know are going to come up, or we want to make sure they come up. And so we have board members, executive board members made up of chiefs all around the state. And we take in their local concerns as well as what's going to impact us statewide. And this is a statewide issue. So this is our number one issue for the 2026.
Nationwide issue.
It is. You watch what's going on in Washington, D.C., it's the same thing. Those are largely juvenile crimes.
Yeah.
And it's a nationwide problem. So, but we've got a system in Missouri that's just frankly not working.
And it's everywhere. And just discuss how common it is and how quick these juveniles get released after their arrest. Just real quickly.
Well, I think one of you guys made the comment that it could often, before you write your report, before the officer can book him, or arrest him, transport him, get the paperwork done, and kid's already home. And we've been seeing that for years. Like we mentioned, we've been seeing it for years. In 2013, they came up with this point system in Missouri. And I think the intent was okay, but it's just not working because as you look at it, it's left up for interpretation too much. There's too many overrides. It depends on your juvenile justice administrator. If they're of a liberal mind, they're going to use this override. If they're of a conservative mind out here in St. Charles County, they look at it as, no, we're keeping them because of this. And we know you don't have to, it's not a 15-point offense, but there was a firearm involved or there was a vehicle involved, so we're keeping them until he gets a hearing. So
Chief,
yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is this statewide, this point system? So the Missouri legislation passed this.
Yes.
This
It
is
went through
statewide.
OSCA, which is out of the
Okay.
Supreme Court. OSCA is a board out of the Supreme Court. And so it went through OSCA, it was a recommendation from there. And yeah, so this is a statewide, but like I said, I think the main issue with it is there's too much uh, room for interpretation one way or the other. I think it needs to be more solid direction. You will detain under these circumstances.
Can you give us a little bit about examples of the point system? Like, I mean, if a carjacking is worth a certain amount of points, is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, so this is literally the form that gets filled out. It's the juvenile detention assessment form. And it has all these codes, but most serious offenses presented. A or B felony, felony sex offense, unlawful felony possession, or use of a firearm or explosive device, 15 points. Okay, so technically that means automatic detention. Other felony offenses against a person is 12 points. But when you go to page 2, there's overrides and a whole list of overrides of why not to detain or
Just
why
give us
to
two
detain.
examples. Give us 2 examples of overrides why not to detain.
Well, mental health, obviously, does not meet the requirements of medical condition, pregnancy, or here's the catch, is other. They all have an other category. And you can
Sign
briefly,
off on this.
yeah.
That's
So
great.
the other is what's broadly getting used. And I think especially in St. Louis City and St. Louis County, because a lot of these don't match, so they got to be using other. There are reasons you can override. If it's a 12 point, you can say there's no good parent or guardian to release them to. It's not suitable. So they can override it the other way as well. But that's not what we're seeing. No, we're seeing a catch and release program because frankly, they don't want to detain them. They want to let them go because they don't want to have to deal with them and house them.
Right.
So
I talk a little bit about how dangerous this is for the officers, because I think that what we're seeing here is that these juveniles are getting emboldened. And when they get emboldened, they become more and more dangerous, not only to the public, but to police officers. And as this continues, just talk a little bit about how this is. I mean, it is getting increasingly worse within all of the municipalities and the cities.
yeah, they are emboldened and they're getting used as well because in 2020, 2021, when auto thefts were spiking, we saw a big spike out here in St. Charles County, but none of the suspects were from out here. They were all from juveniles from North St. Louis County, North City, and they were actually being paid, depending on the type of vehicle they were able to steal in return. We know this because we caught a 13-year-old after pursuit, and he had in his phone he has the GPS, the address of the car, and depending on what type of vehicle that was, depending on what kind of payment he got, because they use the juveniles because they know there's really no serious repercussions. But when we catch them, what's interesting is the ones that have been caught and released in the city or St. Louis County, we started detaining. We worked with our chief juvenile officer, and she said, yeah, I've got these workarounds. I can do this. If it involves a firearm or a vehicle or any serious crimes against a person, we'll keep it. So we started detaining these juveniles that were from St. Louis City, St. Louis County, and they literally had a meltdown when they found out they weren't going home because that's what they're used to. And
That's
they
incredible,
were,
and that's what
they
we're
were
looking for.
yeah, they weren't going to get a hearing until early next week. And
I think
so,
I think
yeah.
we can all agree that everybody, second chances are okay. But second chances should be earned, not given.
Right.
You know, and if there's somewhere in there that when you commit certain crimes that you're put into some sort of system where, and I'll just go back a little bit, is that anytime something is bad, you have to spend money to make it better. The juvenile system, everybody's trying to spend less money and make it better. That's just not, it's just not feasible. And my thought would be to take some of these people that want to be mentors in the neighborhoods, but they do it on their own time. Make it a paid job. You know, make it worth these guys that want to help. Give them some money and then let them make a salary from this. And I'm not saying make a jail, but maybe like a barrack system, Chief. You know, if you know what I'm talking about, is that have these kids, you know, not locked up, but doing things 16 hours a day and sleeping 8 hours a day and having people next to them and earn that second chance. What would you think of something like that?
Yeah, I think this could look a lot of different ways. We're not really sure yet. We have a meeting at the end of the month with the Attorney General to start the process. The legislative session, the bill filing doesn't start till December, so we're getting ahead of it. But we're going to have we'll bring a panel of not only chiefs, but we got some attorneys on board. They're going to give us good legal direction and to look at what our options are. Um, I did reach out a little bit. I can't find any other states that use a point system like this. So I don't know how Missouri came up with this. Decided this was a good idea, but we're going to look at other options and try to present some. I think we've already, based on the media we received this week, I know we've got some state reps and state senators that want to get behind us.
Yeah, and I agree. And it's I hear what you're saying, and I'm cool with that. But there has to be consequences. The story you just told about the kid that broke down when he realized it wasn't the normal catch and release thing, that says it all. Right there, that says it all. Because in the city, they know whatever they get caught with, they're back home in hours, not days.
Right.
They're home within hours.
Right.
It's a mere inconvenience for them to get caught with doing a carjacking, and they're back home. And what I'm so sick of hearing about is the juvenile. What about the victims? This point system's a joke. It's saying, hey, Tommy
Right.
Malachek, you get carjacked, that's a 12-pointer right there.
Right.
It's putting a number on a violent crime that you just endured. And hey, let me tell you something. There are programs for kids that want to be good kids. In the city, kids that want to be good kids, you can go be a good kid. You can go to the police athletic league. I was a big part of that. You can go play any sport you want in the world, and you'll find a coach, and we'll pay for it. There's the YMCA. I can go down. There's a list of ways for a kid to be a good kid. The kids that want to be bad kids, there has to be harsh consequences. And I'm done with all the hugging and all the
To your point,
bullshit.
Danny and Chief, maybe you can roll off this. I haven't heard the word parents or parent. Where is their responsibility? What is their responsibility in this? These kids keep committing these crimes. These parents are letting them out, at all hours of the evening, carjacking people. There's got to be a clause or something in new legislation that holds parents accountable. What are your thoughts, Chief?
Well, that's going to be part of the conversation. Absolutely is going to be part of the conversation. Already has been. If you remember 3 or 4 years ago, they had raised the age in the state of Missouri, where 17 used to be an adult. And so what I wasn't necessarily in favor of that. I wasn't in favor of that at all. But what we're seeing is the 17-year-olds are committing serious crimes against persons. We thought we'd see an increase in certification into the adult court, but we haven't seen that increase. So what should be getting certified, especially with the 17-year-olds, is not really happening. So that's another problem. With raising the age has really kind of hurt us a little bit too.
Yeah.
Tommy, that's a great point. Everybody here, everybody that's listening, remembers back in the day at the 10 o'clock news came on. It was Larry Connors, whoever, and they'd start the 10 o'clock news. It's 10 o'clock.
Where are your kids?
Do you know where your children are?
Right.
I mean, that's the era
Yeah.
that we grew up
Yeah.
with. I mean, and
Carjacking.
That's where they are.
Carjacking. What's up? What's up now?
minor carjacking, where are yours?
No, but I think one of the things I wanted to get to too is Chief, is that Tommy's dad, Tommy Malachek's dad, was one of the very, very influential guys in our juvenile system when they were trying to do different things like DARE, and you remember those programs as we were coming up as young policemen. There was a DARE program, there was a lot of other programs, and there was a truancy and curfew centers that we used to have, and they made it so easy for policemen that they could just grab these kids that were up to no good, drop them off, and they would be taken care of. And I'm not saying that you wouldn't embarrass their parents, but you would certainly inconvenience them.
Yeah.
Right.
When they had to come pick these kids up, and now it's almost like you're the bad guy if you do that. You're the bad. And I like they like to portray policemen or the system as the bad. But being inconvenienced works.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In any way, would you agree with that, Chief?
Yeah, I do, 100%. And that's, I can remember when I was working in North County and you deal with a juvenile on a relatively minor offense, maybe possession of marijuana or something or whatever it was, and you take them home to their parents. It was because there's more consequences there than the courts are really going to do.
God, yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But
And you always
I don't think
you got that good parent too.
Yeah,
that
well,
they
if you,
would
yeah,
just be
but I think
just steaming mad and ready to kick that ass.
Yeah.
Right when you
Right.
dropped them off, they're like, "You guys need
We
to
got
leave
it.
because
We
I'm
got
going
it.
to kick
Yeah,
that
we got
ass
it from
when you
here.
leave."
Yeah.
But unfortunately for the officers today, I don't think it's so much like that, because they get mad at the officer for
Right.
doing this to their child, so
Right,
it's,
exactly
yeah, it's
right.
upside down.
So,
Yeah.
Chief, where are we in the process, and what do you think's the next step that what you have going?
Well, the next step is certainly meeting with the Attorney General. Like I said, it's coming up in a couple of weeks. Start the conversation. The conversation's already started. It's a matter of who's going to be at the table. And obviously, it can't be all law enforcement. Like I said, we already have some attorneys lined up, and there'll probably be some. We'll have to involve certain legislators, and then OSCA eventually will have to have some input in this. So we'll kind of get a path forward when we meet with the Attorney General in a couple of weeks, and then hopefully within a couple of months have some solid piece of legislation ready to be sponsored and submitted in December.
So how's the response been since the letter you guys put out, both pros and cons? Have you got anything? Have you got any bad feedback saying that no, you need to leave the system the way it is?
Yeah, there was one, all good feedback. Every media outlet in the St. Louis area picked it up. I think it's starting to do the same in Kansas City and Springfield. There was one, I can't remember what channel I did an interview on. I think it was 4. They talked to a defense attorney that does a lot of juvenile law, and he spoke up that the system works just fine. And he likes the system. And, and I had used in that interview, I used the example that about a year ago, there was a St. Louis City officer that was dealing with these juveniles, and one of them took off running, fired a shot at the officer. They ended up apprehending them and got him with the gun. Didn't hit the officer, fortunately, but again, juvenile wouldn't take him. Shot at a police officer, and that was the example I used. And the defense attorney, thinks the point system's not broken. I think that's a perfect example of why it's broken.
Right. Hey, Chief, have you heard from the creator of this system, Jimmy Edwards, and has he put his input into this thing at all, or?
Not since we rolled this out this week.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to hear what they have to say, and I think because of the political environment, maybe they'll recognize that there needs to be some adjustments. I don't know. It'll be interesting to hear from those folks. So.
Sure.
I mean, it has to happen, and we really appreciate you taking this on. I mean, it's not going to be an easy road.
I got one last question.
Every time I start wrap up things like that,
I know you're about to go.
That's what he does to me.
That's because I know you want to get rolling, and I'm good with that. The Chief's answered all our questions
Except one.
but I got one thing that I think he's going to enjoy talking about. I played softball with the gentleman, and his life was taken too early, but Mark Gartland was one of the Chief's friends.
I played with him.
And I want to just let him just talk about Mark a little bit.
What a great
just
good
like
idea.
we do with other people. And Mark's, unfortunately, I think it was stomach cancer that got him. But I know you were close to him, Chief, and just say a couple words about Mark and what kind of man he was.
So Mark was the Lieutenant Garland. I knew him, of course, when I was a young officer. He was that model to me, that ideal, great physical condition, very smart, very kind to talk to, but he's a guy you wanted to work for, and I wanted to work for him. So with only 2 years on, he's the reason I put in for the tactical unit, because I wanted to be like that. I wanted to be part of that, what he had going with the tactical unit when he was the commander. And that was really my inspiration, because I talked to him a lot. He took the time to talk to young officers like me at the time, and never discouraged you. I knew I didn't stand much of a chance, but I put in for it because of Mark Gartland, and he's just that guy a young officer would look up to, and very inspirational guy for a young officer to model himself after. So I was fortunate to be able to get introduced to him while I was still in the academy, and just, like I said, engaged with him a lot. And always a little intimidated, but again, he's just that guy you wanted to be like.
He was that guy that he was intimidating.
Yeah.
He was a stud.
He was a
didn't
great
play
guy.
around, man.
Great guy.
He had no play in him.
No, he didn't.
He reminded me of the Johnny Burks and the Bob Zambos.
100%. He skipped recess.
They didn't play. They were down for doing the job.
Yeah.
And if you played, that was on you. Better not get caught.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Which you always got caught.
I was
Chief, thank you so much for coming on.
We
If there's
appreciate
anything
it,
we can
Chief.
do, we support you 100%. So if there's anything from our angle we can do,
I got one last
we're
thing.
up to like 7 listeners. We'll get them all to vote for it. And so we're here to help.
I got one last thing. He's got a TFO right now that's in DEA.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not going to say his name, but
Right.
his initials are JD. And
Yeah.
this dude's just absolutely
Killing it?
He's killing it.
Yeah,
killing.
Yeah, he's killing it. Yeah.
that's good.
I mean, they got.
Good to hear.
I mentioned some cases that he's been involved in over the years, and he's killing it. And I think JJ is way off on the Candyland.
Yeah,
of St.
JJ.
Charles County.
He couldn't even work his phone.
Hey, but
Yeah.
the one last thing I wanted, just the chief that
This is your third
for the
last
third
thing.
time.
This is your third last
I'm
thing,
going
Gronin.
Belichick on you. But I want to get the chief's opinion on how JJ handled the hat thing.
Oh, see,
How about that? See,
Oh, the hat? Yeah.
and then when
Actually,
go ahead, chief.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought he handled it well. In fact, one of my officers was the assist officer, so he was in the video, and so there was a couple people. I got a call from a county councilman out here saying he got a call from one of his constituents that they want us to immediately cease any relationship with the St. Louis City SC, and because of that incident, I told him, I go, hey, the lieutenant that handled that did an outstanding job. It was handled very, very well, and as professional as you can handle a situation like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with the policy, but we do our job. So
There you go.
yeah, I thought it was well.
There's supposedly going to be some policy changes
Changes,
around that.
right.
So
I can
that's-
The
imagine.
commander of Candyland is sticking up for JJ.
Yeah.
How about that?
Hey,
How about that?
That's on JJ. That's
Yeah.
on JJ.
Chief, sorry you had to listen
But
to
that's
that
my last
banter
one. That's my
earlier.
last one. I got nothing else.
Chief,
I got nothing left.
Appreciate
thank you
it.
so much.
One more
Let us
thing.
know. Get out of here. Thank
Thank you very
Chief.
much.
Thanks,
I appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thanks.
your time.
See
You're
you.
murdering me. All right. That was good. That was
That
good.
was good.
All right. So
What
how-
a great guy.
Oh.
Now,
He's good, man.
Hey, you earlier today told me about a job you might be applying for.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's
on.
a big step.
Or are
for
you
me.
going to have to leave? You're not going to have to leave the podcast, from what I understand.
I don't think I'll have to leave my house.
This is right up your alley.
I couldn't believe it came across. I'm going to apply for that superintendent out at Francis Howell School District.
Why don't you do the city?
No, because
gonna
out there
have
you
an
don't have
opening.
to show up. They give you $250.
Oh,
Did
that's
you see
true.
the story, Chuck?
Do you know this story?
Maybe not. Tell me.
Oh, dude.
No, obviously not. This guy, this doctor, takes a job with Francis Howell School as a superintendent. He
Right.
signs a contract March of 25.
Because Danny would be, first of all, you were thinking you'd be thinking school attendant,
Yeah.
Danny, maybe not a good fit. But listen to how this breaks down.
Yeah,
But
you would
this is,
think,
now you're thinking this is his job.
because you're thinking I'd have to be there and
Yeah,
all that
right,
stuff
right.
and
Yeah,
show my
supervise.
face.
It's a Bigfoot job.
It's a Bigfoot job. This guy signs a contract March of 25 for $250,000 a year. He's a superintendent at Francis Howell. And then school doesn't start until July 1st was his effective date.
Okay.
July 25th, he signs a resignation letter. Never the superintendent for a minute, except on paper. Signs a resignation, and in the separation agreement, he gets his $239,000.
You're kidding.
He gets it all from the taxpayers out there.
Right.
And then there's all these clauses in there of secrecy. You don't sue us. We'll never sue you. Don't talk about what happened.
He's got
this and that.
230, 250.
Don't say anything else about it. Sign here and go. He's already got a job in Oklahoma. He's going to be a superintendent out there.
Well, you have to look at the board then, right?
100%.
You have to look at
Somebody
the
asked
board.
me,
Something
what,
happened.
what did he do that he? It's nothing he did. Somebody on
saying,
that
though,
board messed up.
If
Yeah.
the job is to put in an application, never show up and get 250, Danny's the
Danny's
guy.
in.
I mean,
No, that's
he's the
right up.
fucking guy.
Yeah, you're the number one
mean,
candidate. Yeah.
I mean, he
I'm
made
all over it.
Or
he made a good amount of money on the police department doing it.
right.
Yeah, that's
Just
what-
not being
That's
there.
what
and
my
just making a
resume is
good
going
money.
to say.
Right.
I can ghost your
I'm
ass
with you.
too.
You had good people under you.
Shit.
You've already done
You
it.
had good people
You've
under
proven
you.
yourself.
I've proven myself anyway.
Right.
Well, what about Darlene Green?
What happened to her?
She's getting paychecks still from the city. Doesn't even work for her.
Why?
She's the Bobby Bonilla of the city.
Right. There you go.
Why is that?
It goes back to when she was with the budget division, and now she's getting, our department, whatever you want to call it, and now she's getting paychecks for $1,600.
Oh.
And somebody, I think Donna Behringer caught it, and now they're looking into why. She hasn't cashed them yet, but yeah.
You know, I always like to think.
Mark
right?
Reardon talked about that today, though. You know, that apparently there's some evidence that she had not, you know, there's nothing.
No knowledge on her.
It was somebody in the personnel section or whatever.
And she
forgot
didn't
that-
cash them.
She hasn't cashed them, no.
So I think, you know, from Elliot Davis was on Reardon's show. He said that he talked to her and she just wants an apology and wants this to go away. But, you know,
We're sorry, Darlene.
Right.
yeah,
Go away.
accept our
Sorry about
apology.
that.
We're sorry.
Sorry about that.
Go away.
That's what I do. That's what I do to you when you get offended at something I said. Sorry about that.
And she can
Sorry
drop
about
the
that.
checks off down here at Columbo's.
Exactly. Yeah. There you
How
go.
are we transitioning to the Harpos?
The Harper brothers have to start feeding this way, so we don't
Yeah.
have a big delay.
Argie's here.
All right.
And
Start
John
coming around
and-
this way.
but I'll
Eddie.
tell you what, though, it is a good time for us to talk a little bit about Ralph's stories that
Yeah.
we have.
Yeah.
And one of the ones I have is as a young officer, I had sprained my ankle, and I was put on the desk. And Ralph, has, I mean, this is just when desk sergeants started. There was no desk sergeants when I first started,
Right.
and then they made desk sergeants a thing, right? So Ralph was one of the first desk sergeants. He, a wonderful desk sergeant because Ralph could get tied up pretty easy.
Sure.
I mean, when I say tied up tensely,
Right.
tense and
Right.
So Ralph would be a good guy to have in the station because his temper couldn't get him right.
Come on, Ron.
So I'm working the desk because of my sprained ankle, and so Ralph is the sergeant, and Mark Donor, who is
Oh,
an
yeah.
old 3rd District
Yeah,
policeman, he was working the desk. And Ralph had left his seat, his eyeglasses,
Right.
on the desk.
Come on, Eddie. Come on, right
And,
here, Argie.
So he left him laying there, and what happened is Mark picked him up, licked his finger, and then put it on the lens of the glass, knowing that this was just going to send Ralph off the deep end. I mean, just knowing it, and he was right on the money. He licked it, and Ralph put his glasses on, and immediately blew up. I mean, the glasses flew up in the air. I'm 22 years old. I got a sprained ankle. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This is not right. But that was
That's
just my
good.
quick story, and we're going to let the Harper brothers take over here.
Let me just real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm standing in
Go
roll
ahead,
call
I'm
with
listening.
Ralph, and Ralph.
Put those
Back in those days, you know, they actually had inspection, and you know, the lieutenant and the sergeant would inspect you. And Ralph's standing there next to me, and the supervisor said, "Prepare for inspection," which, as you know, you have to pull your revolver out and show, and the bullets and all that. So Ralph's to my left, and Ralph pulls out a banana. And he has a banana. And the supervisor said, "Ralph, you have a banana." And Ralph looks, and in shock, he said, I don't know how that happened. I have no idea how that happened. He was constantly late or trying to get to roll call. Now, I didn't witness this one, but my father told this story among others. Ralph, my dad was the watch commander in the 3rd District. Ralph was a patrolman. Ralph came in. He was late for roll call. My father said, "Ralph, you're late for roll call again." He said, "Yes, sir, I know that." He said, "Do you have an explanation as to why?" He says, "Yes, I do." He said, "What is it?" He said, Mr. Green Jeans died today, and I had to go to Cootis. I had to go to Cootis, and the line was long. He said, "Lieutenant, I apologize. It'll never happen again."
That was probably a real story.
It might have been.
Yeah, it was probably real.
But as you know, my father and your father go back a long way. And when my father became the commander of the Juvenile Division, Ralph was one of the first guys that he requested to come in. And he was a sergeant for my father in the Juvenile Division. But at any rate, I'll...
Hey, check. Keep
yeah.
going, man. Introduce everybody.
He really enjoyed that job. Really.
Oh, he did. And he was good with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Lieutenant Ed Harper, George Harper, and Lieutenant John Harper all Ralph's brothers. And there's another brother who couldn't make it this evening, Cliff, who's also a police officer and still currently a civilian employee with us now. So their dad was Captain Ed Harper. They still talk about Captain Ed Harper at.
I'm gonna kick this over to the Harper brothers. I come down.
No, it's great.
All right, I'm just kidding.
Producer John's got Tom's on a roll.
Yeah, Captain Ed Harper, legendary captain in the 1st District. If he wasn't on Cronolette, he was at the corner of Broadway and Bowen, Deke Myers, which was a spot to find your father. And my father happened to be, his spot was the Bavarian Inn on Arsenal. So, anyway, yeah, just a legendary family, well-respected family.
Thank you.
But more importantly, we're here to talk about Ralph, and we miss Ralph. And Ralph was just, he was one of those guys that would walk in the room and you knew you were going to have a good time with Ralph. And you guys lived it. So at any rate, yeah, talk about Ralph a little bit. And
Well, wait a minute. Go back to Broadway and Bowen to.
Sure,
that place.
Deke Myers.
That was the command substation.
Right.
You know, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
like a command.
Yeah,
We know what
absolutely.
the police substations are, and that was like a command station.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
It's important.
Dad, you know, if he needed to get home and sometimes needed a ride, he'd get on with the dispatcher and say, send a car here.
Meet me down at the
They know where I'm
substation.
at. You know?
Meet me down at the substation.
And it was okay. You know, that was okay back then. So, any rate, yeah. Go
ahead.
So, Lieutenant, talk a little bit about Ralph and
Well, first, before we get started,
Hey, hold on.
what I apologize. I feel like Johnny Carson, you're Ed McMahon. All right.
Hey, Chet. Give your headphones to Eddie.
You're ready.
And get the fuck out of here.
Stay here.
you just wore out.
This isn't about Tommy Belichick remembering
Yeah.
Ralph Harper.
Yeah.
This is about the brothers remembering. And then let him scoot down. Eddie, scoot down to the mic.
Slide over there. Slide over there.
Actually, we kind of like those stories because most of the stories that we have, we really can't even tell. You know, some of Ralph's
You can
stories.
tell them now.
Oh, okay.
You
Okay.
can tell them now.
Okay.
And I think that one of the things that I really want to hear was Ralph always the same way? I mean, you heard the stories I told you from 20 years ago. Was he always the same?
I rode to school Ralph drove, and he had an old police car that Dad bought, you know, from a recycled car. And when,
It's a 67 Plymouth, I think.
yeah, and I'd ride to school with him. I was late almost every day. And you know the Simpers?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so the
Another legendary family.
yeah, well,
Better
we
believe
we
So
would
you
pick,
guys were friends?
oh yeah,
The
yeah.
Simpers and the Harpers?
Oh,
Went to
actually,
high school.
We went to grade school with them.
Grade school and high
That's a
school.
lot of
and we
shenanigans
lived on
right
Arsenal
there.
Street with
That
them.
is an abnormal amount of shenanigans between
Yeah.
the Simpers and the Harpers.
Right, yes. We were always in competition too, because we'd say, hey, we got 2 lieutenants and a sergeant now. What do you got? You know.
Oh, they were good too there for a
Oh,
while.
yeah, yeah.
They were good. You guys took them, your longevity took them over.
Yes,
I think you guys all started the same. Your longevity kind of took them over.
right.
And just a little bit, you retired, Eddie, as a
Yes,
lieutenant?
yes.
John, lieutenant?
Right. Yeah, 2013 I retired.
And then George was the...
Radio,
Black sheep of the family.
radio
Actually,
repair.
You were the good guy.
Oh, yeah.
You were the good one.
He went for the money. He ran for the money.
And George,
I was
knows a
radio
little bit
repair-
about- And George is a tremendous listener of our show.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Told the brothers about us. And George, you got our buddy Steve James to paint you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yep, I really enjoyed the show that you guys had with him and thought it was a really cool thing that he was doing those portraits of the crime victims. And I thought, man, what a great idea to do that for of Ralph. So I got a hold of Steve and gave him a picture to work off of. I'd like to show it to you.
Yep.
This is, if anybody can recognize him. Oh, kind of hung up here a little bit. I gave him a picture of Ralph holding a couple of his dogs, and he turned it into this. And I tell you, if I could show you the picture next to him, It's really cool. The guy's badge number, the sergeant's badge, and I think Steve did a tremendous job on it.
Oh, yeah. The dogs are right down here, right below here.
Dogs are down there.
Steve said, I'm not going to do the dog.
No, he took the dog down.
He's in charge extra for the dog.
Yeah,
Too much.
yeah.
But we're gonna pass it around, bring it to family reunions and stuff like that.
That is awesome. And
Pretty neat.
We're going to post on our Facebook tomorrow. We'll post a picture of you guys.
Nice.
I know Marilyn was with you guys
Yes.
today. And one of the things that I found interesting is George always talked about Marilyn.
Ralph.
I'm sorry.
Ralph.
Always talked about Marilyn.
Yes.
Maybe you're out there drinking
Right.
and they never had kids, but
No.
how did they treat your guys' kids and
Like gold.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best.
I did hear that.
Yeah. They always talked about we would never miss Thanksgiving or Christmas. He had a thing that he'd do at Christmas. He'd do the night before Christmas.
Yeah.
And he's very theatrical about it.
Yeah.
And all of our kids, my grandkids, my daughters, and they would just watch him.
They couldn't wait
You
for
know,
him
yeah.
to start that.
Yeah, and he'd
So
start.
he would get all emotional about it?
Oh yeah. He was that way.
Put a lot of that Ralph stuff that you were talking
Yeah.
about in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our cat even enjoyed it. The cat would watch and, had a good time with it.
The other thing I found interesting is that Ralph and Marilyn, they love golf. And
Yes.
What if you guys want to take one of that over?
Ralph decided to try and play golf in every 50 states. He made it all the way across. He was able to do that.
Yeah.
And his wife was with him.
Yes.
Every
Now,
one
did
of
she
them.
play the whole time? Did
Oh, no.
she play too, or just go with him?
She went to every Walmart and every.
So she didn't play
That was
golf.
on her bucket
She
list.
just went with him so he could play golf.
She might have played a little bit.
That's
yeah,
cool.
but yeah.
That is cool. And I do say that, I knew Ralph the best when I was a young officer. Okay, so we're talking, early 90s, late 80s.
Yeah.
And, in the police department, how when you move away, that was before cell phones, so you didn't keep, but he was always the memorable dude.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Right.
I mean, he was so memorable and then when you see him, when I would see him afterwards, I would see him on the drinking circuit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And just a joy to run into on the drinking circuit.
He was.
We heard Ralph liked a glass of beer once in a while. Just
Every once in a blue moon.
well, just once in a while.
I told the story today at lunch. We had lunch with Steve James when he presented the picture, but we were at Bruno's and the phone rings behind the bar. Well, Ralph takes it upon himself to answer the phone for the bar. So he comes, and I can't hear the other person, but Ralph's like, yeah. He goes, no, you need to get down here. It's a real scene, man. It's a real scene.
Yeah.
And then he just hangs up. But that's just typical.
So who knows what that call was about?
Yeah, it's probably like their beer distributor or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I know the other thing that I liked was his, I don't know what day he exactly played every week with Steve Hobbs.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dick
Golf-
Bueller.
golf.
Ricky Beeler, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know whoever
Yeah.
else would join.
Every week.
And I'd often see him. Now the other ones would go home, but you'd often see him at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or play golf with Hobbs and all those guys, and we often talk about the camaraderie around the police department, and I'm sure that the Harper family has seen camaraderie out the yin yang
Oh yeah.
over the years. Talk a little bit about the camaraderie that you guys have seen.
I tell you what, when it comes down to who was the funniest of all of the five of us, it had to be Ralph.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just as you told your story, and we probably have 100 of those stories.
That's him.
Ralph stories, and they just resonate. But then at the same time, he was like a coin. You could flip it. When he had his uniform on, he was talking his police talk. He was the real police, right? The George Globe's real police thing. So, but boy, some of his antics were. If you think the stories about the running late for roll call were good, when we were little, we were talking about the parents earlier. What a great show this has been. That was really important to have that, because we know that was a juvenile that killed Ralph, and so this hits real strong to us. this topic. But when we were little, if we'd act up a little bit, Mom would say, "Hey, as soon as Dad gets home, it's not going to look good." Well, Dad would come in, we were acting up. All right, everybody sits, holds hands, and watches the news. So can you see us boys sitting there on the sofa, holding hands, watching it? And the other kids would come over to play. They'd say, "Can the boys go?" Oh, they were acting up again. Huh?
Or if that didn't work and then we were fighting, he'd say, "Now kiss and or you can either kiss and make up or take a little spanking."
Oh, George, I don't remember that.
I always
Wait a
took the
minute.
spanking. I said,
Wait, I want to move from that one.
"There's no way I'm gonna kiss these guys. I'll
Yeah.
take the spanking."
Yeah. I like the holding hands, all right, but the spanking, I don't know. Yeah.
I did. I took the spanking too, but he used Sam Brown. That's where the coppers. I was so happy when they took those away because he used to tell us to go get something because he was going to whip us. He didn't have the Sam Brown anymore.
So the Harper brother that I'm most familiar with is not here.
Yeah, Cliff.
He's on vacation.
Where is he?
That's Cliff.
I don't know where he's at.
Is that, I thought he was on
He's sick.
vacation. Somebody
Yeah,
told me.
he's sick. I think he's sick.
And but he was the most. I mean, I can remember I'm just working one night. I'm driving down the highway, and somebody comes driving or flies past me on the highway doing 130 in the sports car. Cliff.
Oh, wow.
Just
you're gonna say.
Just wanting me to pull him off, and I did.
Oh.
I fell for it. I was like,
yeah.
I'm gonna try to pull this. I think it was one of those Triumphs.
Yeah, it was a
Remember,
little-
Yeah.
he used to
MR2.
run around in sports cars.
Yeah, it was a Carver or something like that.
Yeah, something completely. Yeah.
Well, he wanted to be a race car driver. I mean, that was one of his.
Oh, I got a good story. I don't think I can tell it.
Oh yeah, you can.
Statute of limitations now.
Not live, but we can cut later.
Yeah.
At least it won't be shown later.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. No, Cliff's missing tonight, but boy, we miss Ralph every day, you know. And that October 29th, 2018, that was just so hard for all of us and for all of you too, because Ralph's other family, the police family, and then we had to wait 5 years for that thing to go to trial, you know, the case, and then that was
Go
just
through it
another.
all again.
Oh, it was another thing. So we were happy when Gabe Gore finally got here and got things moving and so some justice was served there. But boy, this is such a heavy topic that that point system, you know, with the juveniles. So we hope something can get started on that. That'd be great.
Just a little deterrent, right?
Oh,
That do
absolutely.
stupid
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah, you know.
But it's neat that, you know, with the thing you guys did earlier today with Steve James, is he was also violent crime victim.
Yeah.
Painted that awesome picture of Ralph.
Oh yeah.
And really appreciate you guys coming by, being fans of the show. And we hope to do something like this on a lot of other shows.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of other people that we need to honor too.
Right.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
know, Ralph's just one of so many people that we need to honor.
Right. Right.
And maybe do this once a show, is just have guys of their family come up here and talk
Yeah.
about that person.
Yeah.
I think that would mean a lot to
Yes.
a lot of people, and I know, I hope you guys had fun. And
Oh, this is
we
great.
did, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, you said it earlier, like the show, you know, when they're watching it, like it, don't like it, love it. Man, this is a great show, and it's a great medium to get out there, and we all enjoy watching it, and it's even more fun to come and be on it. So thank you. It's better than getting sitting holding hands.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh.
Oh, go
picture of Ralph up, and then I'm going to end with our little with what we say every time.
Yeah.
Wow, there it is, right there.
There he is, everybody.
Support law enforcement.
Sergeant Ralph
Are
Harper.
much safer places to live.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Go to Schicker Automotive too.
We love John Schicker.
Doug, I want to do it again.